plugged in, stay charged up. Mind on fire, never let up. Charge a go-go, feel the drive. We build the future, stay alive. Ideas spark, we elevate. Pushing limits, shifting fate. Mindset strong, we lead the flow. Where growth begins, that's where we go. It's time to power up your mind.
I just want to have you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. My name is Peter Balikian. I am Los Angeles-based, born and raised entrepreneur, civil engineer. I'm a civil engineer by trade. That's kind of my day job, but my
Hmm.
passion is really uh, either starting businesses, getting involved in businesses in some form or capacity. And about, I would say 8, 9 months ago, I became a distribution partner with ChargerGoGo as one of the things I added to my business portfolio.
Hmm. So, how did you first hear about ChargerGoGo? If you're saying your day job is like a civil engineering job, then how did you get involved with ChargerGoGo?
Honestly, mine was, to be frank, I was with a much, much smaller competitor.
Hmm.
I was having a horrible experience on the communication, on the technology, just on every aspect of their business. And I was very, very frustrated. And by chance, I ended up getting a LinkedIn, getting a connecting with our CEO June on LinkedIn
Yeah,
and starting a conversation there and asking her, about ChargerGoGo, what separates them, what do they do different than this. I'm not going to name the competitor, but
yeah.
after that, it was just kind
Hmm.
of smooth sailing from there.
That's so great. So, basically, what caught your attention about ChargerGoGo was really like June and kind of talking you through
Honestly,
the process.
yeah, it started from, that the CEO is taking time from her busy schedule, and we went back and forth probably for a couple hours on message. And
Hmm.
then she happened to be visiting Los Angeles that weekend, so we had coffee for maybe about 3 hours, and
Oh my gosh, wow.
we really learned. I learned about the business model and everything, and after that, it was just a very easy decision for me to become a distribution partner. So I think it starts from the top, and it
Hmm.
started from seeing her passion and how dedicated she is, and she does not mind doing, the chatting with the distribution partners if necessary. I get it. It's the organization is evolving. We're getting bigger. We're getting more locations and stuff like that. But I think leadership comes from the top. So if it comes from
Yeah.
there, I think every aspect, every level of the organization, kind of takes that leadership.
Yeah, I really love that you said that because when I first started, my biggest connection was June, and they were like, "Oh no, you're gonna meet the CEO," and I was like, "Wait, what?" Like, I was kind of taken aback, but our conversation just flowed so well, and she's so passionate about what we do here. So I completely agree with what you mean about that because it really is just like it moves you in a way, and for you to have a 3 hour conversation with her over coffee is that's
And
great
it
because.
evolved where our relationship is still very close. As she's
Mhm.
getting busier, I'm busy with not only Charger GoGo but other things going on. But we still talk quite frequently because my vision for the company, obviously as a distribution partner, I want to get more stations, I want to get more revenue, I want to expand
Yeah.
there. But I also want to see the company grow because it's just a company that is in it for the right reasons. I always look at the 3 Ps, right? People, process, and
Hmm.
product. So
Hmm.
I mean, I know product wise we have the best product, and the people in the
Yeah.
process, everything just flows so smoothly. That's why I believe it just sky's the limit for Charging Google.
Yeah, I agree with you because I'd been a user before I knew about the company and I like saw their job application. I was like, oh, like this is really interesting. Like I've actually used this product before, like might as well apply. And if not, then like I can make that like simple connection there. And so for me, I'm like, I know it pleases me as a person and the product as well, and the process is smooth and easy.
Yeah.
Not only for users, but I also feel for distribution partners as well. It's an easy process to get into the business and have that little bit of entrepreneurship for yourself.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, but besides having to come from a different competitor, like have you faced any challenges being a distribution partner? Because obviously it's not a like a typical side job to have, essentially.
Mhm. I mean, obviously, every investment, every business has its challenges, but the challenges of this is just you know uh, getting getting a no maybe from a vendor, right? I
Hmm.
think that could be a challenge. It could be a frustration because as distribution partners, as people within the company, we know how great of a product, how great of a technology we offer to the venues, especially being a free, there's no cost, there's no liability on them. So sometimes
Yeah.
when we get to know it, that's probably the only thing that I can name that's frustrating, because sometimes they'll say no and they're having a bad day if it's a manager or an owner or
Hmm.
whoever, and they don't even say why they're saying no. Because when someone tells me no, I would like to know the reason, but when they don't, that's probably my biggest frustration that I've seen. But the market is huge. The United States
Yeah.
is huge. You just move on to the next venue and you try to build your relationship there. So it's not only the product and placing it there. You build a rapport, you build a relationship, a friendship with the venue manager or
Hmm.
whoever is in charge. And you just, like, I have probably right now about 50 something stations in my
Wow.
portfolio. And um, sometimes when something goes, like it shows offline, or there has to be
Hmm.
some sort of a communication with the manager. For all my vendors, I know the managers have all their cell phone numbers, so I just send them a quick text, I check in with them. And I like having that relationship aspect where
Yeah.
I just tell them if there's anything, the station goes offline or it's not working or a battery needs to be replaced or whatever. My cell phone is
You,
always out. Just shoot me a text, call me, whatever, and we'll get it resolved. So, and they like that, because while the company, obviously our company is a good size, there's corporate elements to it, but they like dealing with, okay, we just have to deal with Peter because he's a distribution. We don't need to call the community
yeah.
like that. So
Not
that's
having to
why
worry about everyone else.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's so great that like you can build those relationships quite easily, because to me like you just seem so friendly and like a people person. So making like having those connections with managers, like getting the no's, I think is always going to be a challenge in any kind of like sales role or in any job. Getting a no is not essentially what you want. But when you're saying building that rapport with those businesses, like you have no idea where those managers could even take you. They could leave that business and go to another one and want to take you with
exactly.
them. So,
Or they could refer a friend that's a manager elsewhere. So
hmm.
that's something that I take a very big deal of pride on, is just to be very available, friendly, and if there's something that's bothering them, I just tell them reach out. We'll get it taken care of.
Yeah, which is amazing because being a civil engineer, I'm assuming you are a very also busy person. So
Yeah,
you
I mean,
taking the time out to help other people, like it's not an easy job. So
yes.
what do you see yourself? I know you've only been with ChargerGoGo like less than a year, but what do you see the growth potential, not only for yourself as a DP, but for ChargerGoGo, like that growth potential in the future?
Honestly, I've been like 8, 9 months. I think it was July of last year I joined.
Hmm.
Uh, we are right around 5,000 stations, I believe, nationwide in 48,
Yeah.
or it could even possibly 50 states. I'm not exactly sure. Honestly, I see us going to maybe 20,000 by end of the year. And then after that,
Wow. Yeah.
incrementally growing. Obviously, the market size is huge, but very confidently saying that we are the best company in the space, not only product wise, team wise, operations wise.
Hmm.
Just the way we do things, the way we go about things is very professional, very consumer minded, at the same time venue minded, right? Because we want the venues to grow with us, and the more venues we serve, the network grows. Ultimately, it ends up benefiting the consumer, right? If a consumer
Yeah.
goes to our app and they see, instead of 5,000 drop-off locations, they see 20,000, then they see 50,000, then they see 100,000. That's going to
Hmm.
make ChargerGoGo feel like, okay, we're like Uber or we're like Lyft.
Yeah.
It's very, very,
Growing.
very easy to access, right? Anywhere you go within a few miles, you're going to see a drop-off zone.
Hmm. Exactly. And every other business or every single one, you could go from store to store, from venue to venue, and there's going to be a station there waiting for you. And then our
And
little map's going to light up with a bunch of little green dots.
that's the goal of the company. In speaking to June on multiple occasions, just when we speak, we don't speak about. Sure, we speak about maybe a venue or two, but we always speak about growth, about future, about thousands of locations growing, collaborating with other agencies that might have locations, whatever the case might be.
Mhm.
Just doing whatever it takes that everyone benefits.
Coming into Charger GoGo, would you want to give yourself any advice, or to, I guess, any other entrepreneurs considering to become a distribution partner?
Um, Honestly, the advice is take your time, go through the steps that our team has in place for the distribution partners to review the documents or whatever case might be. I was very honored that I actually spent time with the CEO. I'm not saying that's going to
Hmm.
happen every time, but organization-wide, whether it's our business development guys or it's our operations guys in our Las Vegas headquarters, everyone is truly friendly, and they're all about helping not only the distribution partners, the venues,
Hmm.
whoever it might be. So my advice to the distribution partners is just enjoy it, do it as something that you're actually going to help consumers, but at the same time, obviously make income from it. So if you
Hmm.
go through the process, I mean, our everything that's laid out is very informative. There's nothing hidden. That's what's also a factor. When I came from the smaller competitors, they were not disclosing to me certain things that were
Hmm.
not obvious. They didn't have a host app, for example, right? So they gave me two locations. I had no idea where they are. I'm like, I
Yeah.
wanted to know about the revenue. Like, I never have to question ChargerGoGo. Well, how's my station at venue, whatever, doing? I
Hmm.
just go on the app and I check, and I check daily. So the level of transparency is something for distribution partners, very, very important. So my
Yeah.
advice is just take advantage of all the offerings, enjoy it. And so you're gonna have some bad days with it. You're gonna get the no's. Maybe it'll be a little bit of a slow growth, but
Hmm.
it's something where it's an absolute need for venues and customers and guests. So it's a matter of just building your base and building the relationships. um, Maybe it's a little slow for some distribution partners than
Yeah.
others. But what I absolutely love about our company is, if a distribution partner is struggling with something, please go to one of our business development guys, have a discussion, and get guidance
Hmm.
on how they can improve things. So that's something I could confidently say the other companies are absolutely not doing.
Yeah, those resource outlets and having that transparency. You always have someone having your back here and just being
Yes,
having someone to go for advice, and whether that be June, Sean, or another business development partner, or really
yes,
anyone. I feel like for me personally, being so new in the company as well, I feel like I could talk to anyone and get a little bit of insight and be comfortable with it and know I'm getting good feedback and information. And they want to, the self improvement is there always because everyone wants you to grow. They don't want you to fail. They want you to be within the company and grow with them
absolutely.
as it continues. Yeah. Yeah. So are your locations just like strictly in LA right now? Or are you thinking about expanding or?
I would say like 90% are in LA. I got about six in San Diego. I got two in Texas and two in Las Vegas. So about 80-90% are in LA.
Yeah, it's not limited to just where you live,
No,
which I
and
think
in
is
my marketing
great.
efforts, I look for groups that have maybe 20, 30 locations, and obviously they're nationwide. So that's also something I think that benefits our distribution partners is the fact that you might be, I don't know, living in Florida, but if you strike a
Hmm.
deal with a national chain or whatever small group, you could really put stations anywhere. You don't have to be in your territory of where you live.
Yeah.
So honestly, that gives you a bigger reach. That gives you more opportunities, and that's why I'm very confident that we're gonna grow. Each and every DP is gonna grow with it.
Yeah, I really do love that. Like that's it when you say like you really can grow anywhere. I remember Jim was saying how there's a station now in Puerto Rico or
Mhm.
I can't remember exactly, but like we're international. And we're not largely international, but we do have a couple of stations starting to trickle out of the United
Yeah,
States.
I'm in the
So
process of putting one in Montreal, Canada. So
wow. Yeah. So look at like it's growing so like internationally. It already is, but wow. So
absolutely.
for your venues, do you focus on like restaurant based or like cafes, hotels, or do you hit every point?
I try to hit everything, but I think I try to focus more on bars and restaurants that have
Hmm.
like a bar scene where people stay for extended periods of times. I
Yeah.
just feel like from a usage point of view, that's what I've seen is these bars are open till 1 or 2 a.m. and typically
Mhm.
people tend to have dying phones, in the later time of the day, and
Me.
that's activity. When I go actually and I check, I probably have like maybe 10 to 20, maybe 15 to 20 pretty busy bars here in the Los Angeles area, and I
Hmm.
see it like 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight, 1 a.m.
It
That's where
just
like the usage.
spikes.
It's just kind of everyone just renting because they're at the bar, they don't want their phones to die, and they pay a few bucks and they just get it. So and that's what we
Hmm.
want to offer to the consumers, right? Um, it's sitting there, it's at your convenience. Don't feel a need to use it, but if you need to use it,
Hmm.
it's there.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's a couple stations at some of my favorite places I used to frequent up in Sacramento. And I would just be like, oh, because I knew about it, grab a charger, bring it back to the table. My friends are like, Where did you get that?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh, there's like a rental station in there." And they're like, "What?" And then after that, more and more people use it because they recognize it and they're like, "That's so easy." I'm like, "Yeah, it cost me $2 to do this or whatever it is. It's less than a beer." So it's like if you're out and about already and I have low battery anxiety all the time, mostly because I'm consistently on my phone and I'm really bad at charging it.
of
So
course.
you always need it. So when you're telling me that it spikes around that between the 10 and 1 in the morning, it's like one of those is me. So
Yeah. And one of my favorite things that actually ChargerGoGo did for me, one of my venues is Yamashiro Hollywood, here in
mhm.
Hollywood. It's a historic. That building's been around over 100 years. It's a very known restaurant.
Yeah,
So
I've heard
I
of
have a
it.
relationship. I have a relationship with the management group that handles that and some other spots. So they were interested, but they didn't want our standard station because of the
Mhm.
historic element. They wanted something that could fit in with their team. So through the help of the operations team, through Kevin, we got basically a Japanese looking stand, and we made it.
I remember seeing
Yeah,
that, yeah.
we made a C12. We wrote it in brown color so it kind of matches, and we put it inside
Mhm.
that stand. So now customers, when they go to the venue, right just to the left of the, which is like a little waiting area where people get waited,
Yeah.
it's sitting there, so it matches their theme because it's a historic, Japanese restaurant. And yeah, it took us maybe about a month or so to get everything lined up, but we got it done, and that's something where I could
Mhm.
confidently say no other competitor would do. They wouldn't take the time, because it takes some creative, you know, collaborations. We had to outsource it, get the design done, and things like that. But the venue is important enough for us. Each and every venue is important. So if there's a request like that, and we feel like, what, it's a busy venue, we wanna get our name, we want people to know about Charger GoGo. That's something that Charger GoGo would do that I know a competitor wouldn't do. So
Yeah. Wrapping it, making it
wrap it
aesthetically pleasing for the venue that it's in.
so that it fits within their elements. They didn't want the, standard with our digital screen. So we put the stand, and we took the screen out, and we just put the C12 in there.
Yeah, I remember Sean and Jin showing me a photo of it. It looks like absolutely it just looks beautiful because it just fits the space so well. And, if a venue needs that, then and we're able to do it, of course, we wanna be able to accommodate that because if they want us, we want them. It's
Of
a
course.
win-win benefit. So,
Yes.
but, I am just gonna thank you for your time once again,
Of
Peter.
course.
I'm gonna let you go because we've been chit-chatting, and this has really been it's been such a pleasure speaking to you, and you've
And I
brought so much insight.
I look forward to
But
just helping any future DPs, anyone within the company that has questions. They are kind of on the fence. They're not sure. I've done it a couple times, but anyone that has
mhm,
questions about our process, and just for them to have that peace of peace of mind, that comfort, that they're, the investment that goes into becoming a distribution partner. And I can speak to that because I came from the other side where, quote
mhm.
unquote, I got screwed in a sense. But and I want, DPs to coming in with that comfort level, basically.
Yeah, and I love that because you know what it's like to work for a company that really doesn't value you or isn't transparent and doesn't give you that open front honesty on how things are going to be. So, and
Yes,
thank you for being an outlet for future DPs, current DPs, anyone really that has those questions and needs advice or just wants to chat about stuff. So,
absolutely.
yeah, that's been amazing, Peter. So, I just want to thank you again for your time, and I hope you have a good rest of your evening.
Thank you, Cassandra. It was a pleasure. We'll be in touch.
All right, bye bye.
It's time to power up your mind. Up your mind, up your mind, up your mind, up your mind. Oh, get plugged in, stay charged up. Mind on fire, never let up. Charge your go-go, feel the drive. We build the future, stay alive. Ideas spark, we elevate. Pushing limits, shifting fate. Mindset strong, we lead the flow. Where growth begins, that's where we go.